Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is end of the month for the month of April, Tarot Oracle reading. And Virgo, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Virgo, then if you do have your birth chart, which house is Virgo in? That's where this information will be most likely to show up for you. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you are watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I've posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, we do have the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. We have the Two of Wands. So the wands in tarot represent the element of fire. This is talking about taking action and having passion in life. The Two of Wands represents someone who's standing at the turret of his castle, overlooking his domain, and he realizes, you know what? I'm a big fish in a little pond. I have the world in my hands, but I want to expand my horizons. And so this energy can talk about wanting to expand a business or maybe your family, that kind of energy. This is quite often reminds me of an entrepreneur that maybe wants to franchise. You realize that you've reached the peak at this location, and if you want to expand your business, you're going to have to open another location or move locations, something like that. This is for the internal forces, is the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands, she's sitting on her throne, and she is known for being the most sexy and natural beauty of all the four queens. She has a sunny disposition shown by this sunflower. The sunflowers follow the sun, which is God's energy. And this is talking, the veil behind her is representing the veil between the spiritual and the physical world. She's very good at finding creative solutions to any problem that she comes up with, because she uses her logic and her intuition to have creative solutions. Keeps her very happy. She has this little black cat. She's not concerned about superstitions, about bad luck, that kind of thing. She knows that she can find a solution to any problem. And yeah, this is internal forces. So this is basically the energy that you are in internally. You can tell it's an internal force because you'll be asking the question, what if? What if this happens? What if that happens? What should I do if that happens? Energy. The woulda, coulda, shouldas of life. All right, and then we have the internal... the first card of the internal forces is the Chariot. The Chariot represents that you are on your journey. This is your destined path. The Chariot, you notice there's no reins. There's the energy is like you hop on the Chariot once you're on your destined path, and it's like a tank. It just tung, 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 tung. It just takes you through. So this is saying that this is already moving. So something's happening in the spiritual realm that is coming down to the physical for you, Virgo. Let's see what's going on here. We have, that was from the bottom. We want the top of the deck. We have immature competition. So this card is my Mean Girls card. The Mean Girls, it's just representing, think of the energy of narcissistic cheerleaders. They're at a competition and they can see that the other team clearly is better than them, and that they should win, but they don't care. They want that trophy, and they'll do anything to get that trophy. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will pull strings in the background to make sure that they do. And so this is that immature competition energy. As we mature, we realize that it doesn't matter what competition we're in, if we're competing for a position at work, or purchasing a home or whatever, and there's a lot of buyers, whatever it is, we are really in competition with our last best self. So that what I mean by that is, if you're in a competition in a sporting event and you do the very best that you can do, even if you're 1% better, your performance is going to be that much better. So you're really competing with yourself. Can you handle the pressure? Can you discipline your mind? It's that kind of energy. And, you know, you can, this team, my cheerleading team, they could have watched the competition and learned from them and then decided, okay, next time we come out, we're going to know how to do that too. And we're going to be even better at it. And we're going to, you know, if everyone on the team has this attitude that they can be 1% better even for the next competition, and everybody on the team does that, they're way more likely to win as a team or individually. And so it's about learning from the competition and letting the competition inspire you rather than, you know, getting all torn up over them as if they're enemies kind of energy. This is the 10 of Wands. And the 10 of Wands energy is that of, you know, the wands are seeds that you've planted and from your actions. And this is the harvest that you're bringing home. So this is a very heavy harvest, and it could be a heavy harvest because it is laden with the fruit of your labor. But some of these wands could represent the energy of other people whose burdens you're carrying. And so this is saying it's time to put any burdens down that belong to any other people. And just, you know, bring your own load home. Lay those burdens down in the field and phone them up and tell them, come pick up your own burdens. I'm not carrying them for you. This person is like tired, and they're very close to home here, but they can't see that they're close to home because they're so up close in it. And so if you've ever heard the saying, can't see the forest for the trees, this is representing an energy where you're so caught up in the details that you can't find the, you know, you can't see the big picture anymore. So they can't see that they're almost home, and they can't see that this is maybe has a lot of fruit on it. And so it's not all just like a heavy load to carry, but a lot of energy there. And so this is talking about if ever there was a time to put down the burdens, now would be it. And don't quit. So many people quit just before they get home because they can't see that they're winning. And then we have this card of reconciliation. So this is the Six of Cups represents. It represents several things. It can be talking about past energy, someone coming in from the past. It could be also someone, a reunion of some sort, you know, going maybe a family reunion or a high school reunion, that kind of energy. It can also represent reconciliation. So if it's reconciliation would suggest that there needs to be some sort of forgiveness. So this is a card, this card of reconciliation. If it's a card of reconciliation, it's talking about needing to forgive someone and then reconcile with them. This sometimes can represent energy from your childhood, like going way back as well. So sometimes it's representing reconciliation of your childhood and healing that inner child. When you first look at this card, it has a lot of illusions in it, because when you first look at it, you see two children playing in the yard with these cups of flowers. But when you look more closely, you realize, wait a minute, that's not a child, that's a gnome. And that gnome is trying to hand these flowers to this little, person, but this is actually a little woman. And when you look at her from the front, she looks young, but when you look at her from the back, she looks like an old hag. She's got a little white mitt on here saying she doesn't want those flowers, those don't even belong to him to give away. The old hag is like already walking away, like, we don't want your damn flowers. She just says it like it is. But this young woman is trying to explain to him why they don't want we don't want to get our hands dirty. We don't want the flowers. She has to explain herself. So this is saying, are you still people pleasing, or have you gotten over that? And then the flowers themselves, white flowers in tarot represent innocence. And you know, these flowers are anything but innocent, because these flowers are from the nightshade family, and they're highly toxic. They are datra, and they're also referred to as the devil's trumpet. They're beautiful flowers. They grow like, they have beautiful trumpet-shaped flowers, and they bloom overnight basically. And so in the morning when you wake up, there'll be double the flowers there was the day before, and then double again. They're really pretty, but If a child or a pet was to ingest them, they could become very sick. So this is not a plant that you would let children play with or have around pets. And Datra is sometimes used for ceremonies with shamans. They'll use it to create visions to help people heal their inner child. So this energy is, that's another illusion. And then the person in the background that was looking like they were watching over the children is actually someone walking down the path away from them. So this is saying that there could be a lot of illusions from your past, from your childhood, and also maybe about someone coming in from the past wanting to reconcile with you. Be very careful of that energy. People generally do tell you or show you who they are the very first time. And if you've already given this person, several chances, keep that in mind. And it would be up to you. You have to use your intuition and your logic around that. But here's a card of disappointment. So this card is someone sitting under a tree here, and he's disappointed. The cups represent love. And quite often romantic love. So, but it doesn't have to be romantic. But so this could be representing perhaps a third-party energy in a couple relationship. There's 3 cups here instead of 2. Sometimes this can even represent a 4th gift, which is that of a baby coming in. There could be a pregnancy involved in this third-party relationship. So this can be a very disappointing situation. This also could be like 3 times of if it's not a romantic relationship and it's a relationship with a family member, or it's a business partner, that kind of energy, it could also be that. And this could say that you've given someone 3 chances, and they're asking for a 4th chance there, and you're like, no way, 3 strikes and you're out. I'm not giving you another chance. And then there's another option. Possibly you've just worked on something, or you've been in a relationship with someone, and 3 different times with 3 different people, it just has not worked out. And you've put your effort into it, and you just feel discouraged. It's kind of like, if it's going to be more of the same old shift, I think I can just do without love. That kind of energy. Or this could be like someone that, an energy of a project maybe that you worked on, and no matter how, you've tried to bring it out 3 times and it just hasn't taken, and the universe is saying, give it one more try. Now the timing is perfect for it, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to. But if sometimes a project is just the timing is wrong, or maybe it just needs to be tweaked a little. So it's that kind of energy. We have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is representing a lot of pentacles. Pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the 3rd dimension. And this is talking it's represented by coin, because a big part, of course, of the 3rd dimensional wealth is money. You need money to be able to live a good lifestyle on planet Earth. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle you want. So the Pentacles actually talk about having a beautiful lifestyle. So the King of Pentacles, basically, this is someone who represents an energy of, there's a lot of pentacles here. He's someone that would be looked up to for having strong business acumen. This energy is talking, it's the element of earth. So this could represent real estate. It could be, someone who's in the real estate market. If it's a real estate agent, it would be someone well established that has more lucrative clients selling, $1 million homes, etc. This energy could also represent commercial real estate, and it could even be a land developer, someone that's a builder. This could be a franchise. This could be an entrepreneur. So this entrepreneurial energy can represent someone who's doing very well, as an entrepreneur. This could represent someone who is the chief financial advisor of a big corporation, someone in the banking industry. It would be at least a manager at a bank. This energy also could be financial advisors and, insurance salesmen, the accountants, and that would be someone that either has their own business or they are in a large company and they're probably a partner. It's that kind of energy. So the king has all these grapes on his robe, and those grapes in tarot represent a luxury item. So grapes are hard to grow, and if you can grow them and actually make money off them as well, then people will admire you and say, wow, like if you're able to do that, then you must know what you're doing. That kind of energy. So we have a situation here where we have going from, this is the internal forces, so going from the beginning here, this is how you identify. You recognize that you've been on your path and you feel like, you can maybe feel the energy coming in is different, and it is different. There's a lot of new energy out there. We've had 6 planets moved into the sign of Aries in the last few months, basically, and it's not a very common thing to have 6 planets in the sign of Aries. And this is like, maybe some astrologers are saying every 500, and some are saying like more like 800 years before this will happen again, kind of energy. So Aries energy is all about new. It's the first sign in the zodiac, and it's like the newborn infant. So this is an energy of, you think about how much a baby has to learn in the first year. So this energy, all these planets that moved into the sign of Aries, for instance, Neptune has moved in there, and it will be there for 14 years. It takes Neptune 14 years to move. Saturn, it takes 2.5. We had Venus, which is all about love. Mercury was there for a bit there, and that was that energy is about communication. So the 6 planets being in there, and now on 2 days ago the moon moved into the Aries energy. So the new moon, we still are a little bit in that energy. It's been 2 days, another couple days feeling that energy. So it's a lot of new energy, basically. And then we also have another major event coming up in the astrological influences, and that is we have the sign of Uranus the planet Uranus is moving into the sign of Gemini. And the last time Uranus was in Gemini was in 1941 to 1949. And, that was when World War II was like, that was that energy. And if you look at what's going on in the world right now, it's very similar type energy. We also have, Uranus can be about like shocking events happening, estrangements, a change of fortune. Sometimes it can be, progress. There's new order coming in, maybe, like just a real kind of new energy coming in. And some of it can be quite shocking and demanding, really, energy. And so it moves into Gemini on April 25th, and this energy is quite intense. It can bring about a lot of changes in around the people that you are with, and this is kind of saying this with this energy here. It's talking about making changes, and a lot of people will be making changes. So it can really change alliances. It can change who you hang out in groups, who your friends are, people moving, people moving on. This is also, it can have an effect on relationships with siblings and neighbors, that kind of energy. The energy that is the most beneficial to be in this energy is recognizing that it's a good time to have an open mind because there's a lot of change going on, and a lot of it is new energy, and a lot of it you can't do it the same way. You can't approach business and relationships pretty much with anything right now in the same energy that you have in the past, because it may not work. Sometimes we get into, like, for instance, Neptune for 14 years has been in Pisces, and Neptune is actually rules over Pisces, so that energy is very comfortable in Pisces, and it's about giving people a little more chances, and it'll work out. It's a little more idealistic. Pisces is the senior executive of the zodiac, the very last sign. and it's a water sign, and the energy of Aries is the newborn, and it's a fire sign. The energy is very, very different. So it's talking about, you know, like if you try to approach doing things the same old way that you always have, and it's worked for you and it's not working now, you could be under the impression that you've lost your touch or you don't know what you're doing, and it could actually be more that the energy just overall doesn't support that anymore. And we have also, you know, it can cause like an energy also of feeling like you don't want to follow through on old projects, and sometimes they just need to be tweaked so that they can be introduced in a slightly different way, and they could be quite successful. Then this is keeping the energy, like the trending energy for this time is going to be youthfulness, like regardless of your age, keeping like a more youthful attitude, you know, being optimistic and being upbeat and being willing to experiment a little to see what works and what doesn't. So this is, it can be really nervous energy though. And so this Gemini energy with Uranus is quite intense, and we're already starting to feel it. We also had 2 eclipses back in at the February 17th and March 3rd, and that energy is like I'm describing it as, you know, like potpourri, just simmering on the back burner of your stove. You don't really notice it, but it's there. And but 6 months later, when you look back, you may find that, wow, ever since that eclipse season, I really have made some big changes in my life. So, and these could be positive or negative depending on your attitude, basically. So this immature competition is an example. You don't want to stay in that energy. It's not going to be abundant, right? So this is talking, and there could be a lot of competition, because people are like vying for the new positions, basically. And this is talking about your communication in early life. And this could be that energy where you're used to doing things the same old way, and you're almost, you know, like it's kind of like, why is this being so exhausting? It's that new energy coming in. So it's like really a good time to put down burdens that don't belong to you. If it's not working for you, let it go. And this is talking about home and family life, you know, your emotional foundation right now. So, you know, be careful of that energy of the past coming in and oh, let's get back together, like, you know, let bygones be bygones kind of energy, because if you go back into the past with someone that's already shown you, you know, that they could put you in that they're competing with you, and, you know, they're not very supportive, and you've been disappointed by them in the past. That energy is very highly unlikely. Like, it could change in this energy, but, you know, they could also be like, if they might just be not able to handle the pressure of all the new. This is about your creativity, romance, and children. So I do feel like this is possibility that you were disappointed by a lover, a significant other, that kind of energy. And there could be a baby coming along here that doesn't belong in the relationship. Also, this is talking about your health, wealth, and happiness in your daily routine. So this is talking about, you know, this is actually a real strong lifestyle if you're the King of Pentacles energy, and that's what you're used to being in. So you want to be able to stay in that energy and by adapting to move forward. So let's see what else is going on here. We have the Ace of Cups coming in. So this is saying, the divine is saying, hey, this has been a really disappointing love, but take this extra cup for love, because you deserve it. And this is an overflowing love. This is a divine partner that God is sending in collaboration with the universe, so that you will have the support that you want. If this isn't a divine partner, it could represent having a partner come in for a business that would be perfect, or some financial backing, that kind of energy. It also could represent an energy of, you know, overflowing energy coming in, someone who's super supportive in love. Quite often this is talking about a romantic divine partner. And then we have this energy here of, yes, the sun is shining. Woo, that's pretty awesome. So this is reconfirming that energy. This is your position of, I'll just put it back here for a second. This is talking about being in your divine path. The sun is the happiest card in the deck, and it shines light on the whole reading, making it happier. So that's good to hear. And this is talking about having this young child. You're a child of God, and you're able to carry this heavy banner with ease. This is your destiny, you know, where you're at right now. And you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to have love in your life. And this is talking about being fearless in that. This is in your position of partnerships, commitments, and spouse. So this is talking about a new partner coming in, that approved by God, that kind of energy. This is, okay, this or that. Yeah, this energy, a lot of people are going to be in this energy. This card is coming out a lot. When you think about this card, we have someone who's sitting there and they are in the exact opposite energy they need to be. They don't have an open mind here. And so they're trying to figure out, how am I going to handle this? Should I do this or should I do that? And they can only see the two options, because if you look here, the body language is saying, with the feet pointed out like this, they're leaking energy. It's draining them, like they're overthinking. And they're feeling very vulnerable. So the heart, you know, if they've been disappointed here, their heart is closing and they're protecting their heart. So it's making them have kind of a closed mind to the options that they do have available to them. We also have an energy of the right arm is holding back the left arm. The right arm is representing your logic, and the left arm is representing your intuition. So this energy is saying, I just want to use my logic. I don't want to feel anything. I just want to think about a solution. And we also have a new moon here saying, hey, this is a great time to come up with creative solutions, because it's a new energy coming in. And with all the other energy coming in with the new, what a great time to do so. And so having an open mind will be a huge asset in this energy, especially on the new moons. And so that it's saying there's never just a solution of this or that. The swords are double-edged. You have to use your logic and your intuition to come to creative solutions. And then we have an energy of, yeah, right there again, it's saying use your intuition. In case you didn't hear it the first time here. Don't be afraid to feel again. Don't be afraid to, go with your heart as well as with your mind. This energy, the High Priestess, she's highly intuitive, and you notice the crescent moon here. It's saying that she's particularly intuitive during the full moon and the new moon. She understands the cycles of the moon, and she does use them to manifest. She is sitting in between these two pillars, and all of that energy around her is representing information. So she's got information coming in from two opposite extremes, and that information, she has to sort through it. And the best way to sort through it is to become neutral to it. Because when you're neutral and you're not going to be swayed by your emotion, and you're not going to be stuck by your thinking, by overthinking. So it's more about, you can see both sides of the story, and you choose which direction you're going in. She's in a position where she's really has two extremes here, because this represents Jesus and that represents the devil. So if she can do it under those extreme conditions, we all can. And this is talking about the Hangman. The Hangman is in your position. This is higher learning. This is transition. So there is going to be a change coming in this energy. You're not going to be sitting here in this energy. Look at all the happy energy that wants to come in. This is a lot of pentacles, a really good lifestyle, and a new love opportunity. You just have to have an open mind and use your intuition, feel with your heart, and also, not just be, don't think yourself out of doing something. And then the Hangman, if you're having difficulty making a choice, the Hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge upside down, and he does so that he can get a different perspective, study something from every angle. So when you're hanging upside down, of course, you're going to have a totally different perspective than if you're standing. And so he hangs there until the aura around his head is nice and bright, and then he has an idea, okay, this is the action I'm going to take, this is how I'm going to move forward. And then we have justice. So there could be some sort of situation here where there needs to be justice coming in. If you've been carrying burdens for other people, if this, this energy definitely talks about being disappointed about someone from your past, or it could be family, it could be a lover, that kind of energy. And I feel because we're bringing a new lover in this situation, and this wanting to move forward in a new way, new location, new energy, wanting to expand your horizons, this could represent that energy of maybe there's some sort of justice. Sometimes justice can just be living well, the best revenge is living well kind of energy, but there also could be something about Pentacles here, because there was some competition here, maybe you weren't aware of, whatever. But I feel that whatever the justice is coming in from the spiritual down to the physical, and the justice could be like if you've had a big disappointment here in your love life, that now God is sending you in someone because you've stayed on your destined path and that's where you're headed. Here's someone that will be true to you, that the love is overflowing and you can have faith that it'll work out. So this person is ready to move forward, to wield this sword of justice, just waiting for the go-ahead from the Most High, and karma will be distributed. Now, karma, a lot of people feel is a punishment, but it's actually more cause and effect for your actions or inactions. So you could have direct karma, like you did something and now you have karma. Or indirect, it could be coming in from some unfinished business from your ancestors or even your descendants. Also, it can represent an energy of, associations that you have in business or whatever, friends, that kind of energy, who you hang out with. And then there's karmic spaces, and karmic spaces are very easy to fall into. Most people do at some point in their life. And if you learn from them, then you can move on. So this is saying, this is going to be the end of the cycle of this concern. This new energy is really going to benefit you. This new energy coming in could be very beneficial if you take the right attitude with it. And this is, the 21 is in the major arcana, that's the final card. And it's saying that this cycle is coming to an end and you're moving into this new energy with the new lover and, maybe a new ideas in business, possibly a new location, that kind of energy, and getting back to your happy self, like this sunflower energy that we see here. And so this is card 21 in the world. When the world card shows up, it means, okay, you've completed this cycle. And now you've basically have done everything you can in this cycle, and it's time to move forward into a new cycle. And that one would be with this new lover energy. So that energy is waiting to come in, is how it's feeling. And so, if you've enjoyed the reading up to now and you're like, okay, I'm good, I don't want clarification, I don't want to ruin a good reading. You've already been through this, you can survive this, so you definitely can survive better. So that's the energy here. And so if you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy. Please give it a like and comment if you've enjoyed the reading or benefited from it. That would really empower me and for my channel. I really appreciate it. Also, for those of you who want clarification, I'm going to clarify it now, and I'm using my Oracle Tales from the Vector. And this is something I started in 2007, and in 2020 I completed all 64 paintings. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com. This is courtesy, the information is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. It's got a lot of big dragon paintings. That's why it took so long. I found out dragons like to go big. So I have like 3 foot by 4 foot paintings with a lot of detail you know, quite a few of those in this oracle. And now I'm just putting the information together. I do have a lot written down already. In my gallery, I have the paintings listed. So the cards that are on here, that the numbers on the cards will represent the paintings in the order they are in my gallery on my website. The information will be here. I will put the numbers of the paintings as they show up here, so that you know which ones to look for if you decide you'd like to check it out. This is talking about the new moon energy I feel coming in. This is says 18, it was on the 17th, but this is reckless abandon. This is when you discipline your mind so you're able to make strong choices moving forward using your intuition as well as your logic. And what better time than at a new moon energy. And we have also the energy. Okay, so this is saying you're moving into a foolhardy cycle. So this is talking about you can anticipate having a really good change here. You're on your destined path. The old cycle is over. It's coming to an end, this old energy, and this new energy is coming in. So that's awesome. So you can you know, anticipate the best and shift the rest, basically. There has been disruption in your path. What's fun for some is not fun for everyone. Yeah, there was some sort of energy here that feels like disappointing, and perhaps maybe, you know, like siblings, whatever, in competition with you. Just, I don't know, petty. It's kind of petty energy, but it can have a serious effect on your life. This is talking about having a good attitude through it. And that's why you're moving forward. You know, even though when times get tough, like keep on going, like that kind of energy. You don't want to be quitting when you're almost there. A lot of people do. They just go, I can't do it anymore. And they quit right before they're about to become successful. Just keep your attitude strong and understand that if you're wished upon a star, you know, you saw a shooting star and you wished upon it, you can't just sit there and expect things to fall into your lap. You need to be in a position where you actually participate in your future if you want to have a strong future. This is talking about letting go of any attachments to you know, any situations that don't belong in this new energy. So put down burdens from other people that you've been carrying. You may find out here when the truth comes in and the situation, the justice is meted out, that some of these people that you've been carrying the burdens for, like they've been behind your back, going after your money and your partner, that kind of energy. What's yours is mine and what's mine is mine. That's the attitude, and maybe you're not aware of that. So this is like, put the burdens down, and when you put those burdens down and you let go of those attachments, don't expect people to be like, oh, yay, I'm so happy for you. You're not carrying my burden for me anymore. It's likely that they'll kick up a bit of a fuss, or maybe you won't hear from them. And you have to be ready for that type of energy. Yeah, it takes courage to be able to stand up for yourself and to be in this energy, in the new energy, and saying, you know what, I'm doing what I need to do. But to have this new world, like energy coming in, you need to let go of the past so that you can step into the new. If you're hanging on to the past and to past attachments, if they get hit by karma and you're still attached to them, you're going to get hit too, and then you won't experience what you deserve. You'll be stuck with them some more. And this is hangman energy on this energy here. So making sure you have balance there, that you don't, you know, you don't want to be impulsive, but you want to be able to be open-minded, if that makes sense to you. The sun is shining on the external forces. The sun is shining on this new relationship coming in. This is God, a stamp of approval. This could keep an open mind. This comes up quite a bit. When God sends someone in from us, quite often it's someone very different from our normal choice. And God says, yes, that's why the type that you feel is your type is always why you end up having like one disappointing relationship after another. That your type is not good for you. You need to trust my judgment here, and I wouldn't send you, you know, like someone who's going to disappoint you when I've promised you they won't. And so God knows everybody better than they know themselves. So, you know, if you don't have faith in your own judgment, you can have faith in God's. The Hierophant energy coming in. So the Hierophant is talking about traditional structure, and that's on your the energy of partnerships, commitments, and also spouse. And so this energy can be talking about this justice energy coming in. The Hierophant is responsible for bringing the justice down to earth. So from the spiritual. And so this is like, traditional structure, like being energy of being in court of law kind of energy in the third dimensional world. If there's something that has happened here and there's pentacles missing or whatever, and there was some laws broken or whatever, it's saying that you will get justice. And then the energy is also talking about the karmic space of indifference. So indifference is, people will often say, oh, we're all in it together. But then when you're down, that's when you realize, wow, the people that you needed to be there for you are not there for you. Now, you putting down burdens of other people may feel a little bit that way to you, but it's not indifference. It's when you are carrying burdens that are not yours. Let people carry their own burdens. You can care about them. You can tell them you care, but you're not going to take responsibility for their actions. They need to take responsibility for their own actions and learn from them so that they don't keep repeating the cycle. And then we have transition coming in here. So this is, yes, this energy is going to move forward. Keep an open mind and use your intuition as well as your logic so you have balance there. And then the justice can come in. And the justice may just be that you have this beautiful partner that you're going to enjoy that kind of energy. If it's about a business and not love, that's not what you're looking for. It could represent an energy of having someone that wants to financially back you or something in a partnership, in a business, that making some sort of commitment in that way. And then we have the Leo energy coming in here in the balance. So the Leo energy is, talking about being natural born leader energy. Leos, think about the Leo energy is also ruled by the sun. And so they're very charismatic. It's a very charismatic energy, and it's about leadership. But sometimes Leos take a little bit of time to mature. They're kind of at the stage of a teenage boy that could be really impulsive. So it's saying make sure you're balanced in your approach to life. Like, you don't want to be all over the place. You don't want to make impulsive decisions. And that's how you build good, strong leadership skills. And as I said, sometimes with the Leo energy, sometimes they can come off as being really arrogant, especially when they're younger, because if people lack confidence, sometimes they'll, go with arrogance instead. I just want to make it clear that when the horoscope signs come in my collective readings, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the energy of that sign, the state of being, and I'm not talking about a specific age, but I'm talking about being in that energy of that age. You could be 50 and be in the Leo energy. It's kind of that energy, and needing to be very balanced in your approach, not being too impulsive, making sure that you're making strong choices. And then this is talking about the all-star energy, using your third eye, which is coming from here. So for the justice coming in, being, just recognizing that there maybe has been something that's gone on, and you want closure so that you can move on and know exactly where you're at when you're moving into this new cycle. It's really, really awesome energy to move into it in that way. And this is, the karmic space of denial. So, or this is actually a tactic, sorry. So denial is, there is a karmic space of denial as well. So there could have been quite a bit of denial here. And you need to get out of that energy. You need to recognize maybe that someone that you're carrying a burden for is not, wouldn't do it for you. It's not an even exchange of energy. And it's also this idea of, hey, what I don't know won't hurt me. If it has to do with finances, it could hurt you. And it could be something that you don't know about, and you need to know the truth of it, and as not be carrying that burden. You're already, it feels like this is a lot of weight on you, and you'll be amazed how much better you feel when that's lifted. This has been a really good reading. I really have been enjoying these end of the month readings. I was expecting them to be a little bit more challenging because of this Uranus energy, but I feel like that it's kind of, you know, it's a matter of changing your attitude, basically. Like if you decide, okay, I'm going to adapt my energy to this energy, it can be really productive. If you fight it, ooh, it could be really challenging for sure. I could see that. So I do hope you've enjoyed this. Give it a like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing to the channel if you resonate. I would be honored if you did so. I will be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now.